undefeated. He's 20 years of age, will not turn 21 until December of this year, but there are problems. An injured left hand, Al. He was supposed to fight Romales in January. That's been put off until April. Concerns in the Vargas camp about the hand injuries?
You know, he's had other hand problems, even with his right hand. I think they're concerned that overall hand problems will be something that will be chronic for him. But one thing they have to like about Fernando Vargas, he has moved very quickly, maybe more quickly than anyone thought. That's why the Romales fight is in the works. He's a good veteran. So for Fernando Vargas, quick movement up the ladder, Bob, as a contender.
And what does Dan Connolly bring to the dance here?
He's a journeyman who lost to David Reed, another Olympian, went 5 rounds with him. His wins have come basically against not the greatest of competition, so Dan will have to prove that he can be in there against the kind of competition that Fernando Vargas offers.
All right, a champion will be crowned tonight here in Miami. We're ready to get it started. Let's send it up to our ring announcer for the evening. Here's Mark Bureau.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Miccosukee Event Center at Miccosukee Indian Gaming on the grounds of the Miccosukee Indian Tribal Nation near Miami, Florida, for an evening of championship boxing on ESPN under the promotion of Main Events in association with Team Freedom and Budweiser. This Bud's for you. The matchmaker is Carl Moretti. Tonight's bouts are under the auspices of the Florida State Athletic Commission. The chairman is Eric Riley, executive director in attendance, Mike Shanti. This bout is scheduled for 10 rounds in the junior middleweight division. Your referee for this event from the Magic City of Orlando, Florida, Frankie Santori. Introducing now the principals first in the red corner to my right, wearing the white trunks with the black and red trim. He weighs in at 157¼ pounds. He hails from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and has a professional record of 19 victories, 3 defeats, and 11 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is Dan Conman Connolly. His opponent in the blue corner, wearing the gold sequin trunks with brown sequin trim. He weighs in at 155½ pounds. He hails from Oxnard, California, and his professional record reads 9 victories, no defeats, all 9 wins coming by way of knockout. Introducing ferocious Fernando Vargas. 10 rounds, junior middleweights.
So both men are ready to go. Let's take a look at the rules as governed by the state of Florida. 3 knockdown rule in effect. No standing 8 count. Fighter cannot be saved by the bell. Only the referee may stop the bout. Accidental foul, they'll go to the scorecards after 4 rounds are complete. Fernando Vargas, an 89-day layoff, has 5 first-round knockouts in his career, trained by Ronaldo Areño and Eduardo Garcia. Lou Duva, Shelley Finkel, also part of his team, and Roger Bloodworth in the corner as well. He is just 20 years of age, had an outstanding Olympic Games, despite the fact that he did not get a medal. Dan Connolly, 28 years of age. He's the last boxer from the 60s. And I don't mean boxing. He was born on December the 31st, 1969 at about 9 p.m. And as far as we can see, no other boxers fighting professionally were born after that. So he's the last boxer of the 60s.
Very interesting. You're filled with these little anecdotal items, aren't you?
Round number 1 underway. Connolly coming off that loss, as Al mentioned in the open, in November to the United States only gold medalist in the 1996 Olympics, David Reed. Vargas, 9 fights, 9 knockouts. Connolly, 22 bouts, 11 knockouts. He has 5 first-round knockouts, but they came in his first 8 bouts.
Yeah, Dan is not the kind of guy who's going to knock out quality opponents. He may hang in there with them, as he did against David Reed through the 5th round, but he's not got the kind of power that will knock out the top fighters.
Vargas's pro debut came late. It did not come until March 25th, 1997, because of an injury to his right hand following the Olympics while he was getting ready to turn pro. He needed surgery on that hand. There was a lot of concern when he injured the left hand, getting ready for Romalicelis.
One of the things that Fernando Vargas is doing so much better as a pro is really setting down on his punches, getting more power in them. He was a little bit of a work in progress still as an amateur, and when he got to the Olympic Games, like almost all of the boxers on the U.S. Olympic team, was improving as he went along. And now he really does get more power in his punches.
Physically, we have done a lot of his amateur boxing, obviously, at the Olympics and leading up to the Olympics, and almost right before our eyes, we see him going from a kid to becoming a man. Just physically, he's just starting to fill out.
His body has matured a lot, along with as he matures as a fighter, and that's part of the reason also why he's added more power. See him jabbing downstairs, trying to set up the power shots to the head, and there's the right hand by Vargas. He would love to knock Connolly out quicker than David Reed did. Reed, of course, who won the gold medal for the United States, the middleweight division.
Took Reed until the 5th round. Vargas, like every other boxer, would love a shot eventually at Oscar De La Hoya.
Because he comes from the same part of the country as De La Hoya, and when he was growing up was compared a lot to him and really wasn't happy about that. Nothing against Oscar, but he said, I just want to be Fernando Vargas. But I think it's just inevitable for any Hispanic boxer of that time as an amateur to be compared to De La Hoya, especially from California. As you watch Fernando Vargas, there's a certain poise and calmness that you don't always see in young fighters, and he has it.
Final seconds of round number 1. Fernando Vargas and Dan Connolly from Miami, Florida on ESPN's Championship Boxing, and Connolly hit.
You're so...
As we were leaving you, here's what Fernando Vargas did. Right as the bell sounded, he, for the second time, nailed Connolly. Connolly really did go down prior to the bell. It was not called a knockdown, but that truly was a knockdown before the bell sounded.
Well, the ropes cannot be used necessarily to keep you up, to stop it from being a knockdown. We'll take a look at the numbers in round number 1 as Vargas attacks Connolly here in round 2.
Well, what David Reed took 5 rounds to do, Vargas will do sooner. Wow!
Fernando Vargas turning it on, and that's it. The referee has stopped it here in round 2. The 20-year-old from Oxnard, California goes to 10-0. He records his 10th knockout. And Vargas finishes off Dan Connolly in round 2.
And here's why that's a significant win for this jubilant young man as he goes by Lou Duva, Hall of Famer, who is helping to train him. It's important for Vargas because David Reed's a bigger fighter than him, and presumably a little more powerful. He's a junior middleweight, and Reed is a middleweight. He got this guy out of there quicker. And so he has a right to look at it and say, hey, that means something.
Well, Dan Connolly has lost 2 consecutive bouts now to United States Olympians. There's manager Shelley Finkel giving him a hug as well. Let's take a look at the total punches in the bout as Dan Connolly suffers his 4th loss in 23 bouts.
And you see by the number thrown and landed that Vargas was very accurate. What you have to like about what Fernando Vargas did is he was very poised. He threw combinations but didn't throw them in a wild fashion. And I'll tell you what, we've seen a lot of the Olympians. Only a few are as far along as Vargas, among them Floyd Mayweather. And let's take a look at it again. What's nice here is the nice compact punches that Vargas throws. And he doesn't lose his cool. Look how he picks his spots, throws the uppercuts because those are the punches that he can get in, and then starts going with the hook. What's really nice about that is his selection of punches and the fact that he didn't throw more than he could land.
And how about he gave himself angles, too?
Which most young fighters are probably not capable of doing. And there's an example of what you just talked about. Finding the angle where he could land the hook. Very impressive work by Fernando Vargas.
And the referee steps in and stops it in round number 2. For the official time, here's Mark Biro.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time, 40 seconds of the 2nd round. The winner by technical knockout and still undefeated, ferocious Fernando Vargas.
Obviously, the hand not bothering Fernando Vargas. He records a second-round TKO over Dan Connolly. The 20-year-old is now 10-0 with 10 knockouts.